Hello, hello, everybody. Um, this is the very first time that I have done this, so I have absolutely no idea. Yeah, we are live. Awesome. Okay, everything works. There's even a notification. This is fantastic. Guys, I'm really not, the digital world is really not really my thing. So half of the time I have no idea how this all works. Hey, Linda, Linda's in the house. Yeah, always happy when Linda's there. Hello, Reiki with Sapna. I hope I say that right. Hello, Alex. I'm so happy that you can see and hear me. I also, by the way, I bought myself a little microphone, so next time I will have a better sound. And if you hear the church bells, it's 7 o'clock here, so it's church bell time, and I live across the church. Oh my God! So okay, everybody can see me. Just to confirm, you can see me and you can hear me, right? If you just don't mind to drop me a little yes, that would be awesome. Ah, super. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for confirming. Oh my God, it's my first live. I had never thought that I would ever go live on YouTube or that I would be on YouTube, you know, at all. But here I am. Thank you so much for confirming. So, yeah, this is very special, I think, because this is our very first live party, and I'm planning to do that more often because I think it's a really easy way for people to simply ask me questions. Um, hey, Rosanna. Oh, it's nice that you are here as well. I'm very happy to do it. In fact, I find it very sweet of you to come here because you also have to, sacrifice your time in order to be here. You could have maybe, be chill on the couch, and so you took the time to actually come here to connect with me or to learn something, to ask something. Thank you so much, Reiki with Sapna. It's very sweet. I am a little bit tired because it's recording day today. I have been recording my re-recording module 5, and I was talking for hours and hours. So if my voice is a little bit cracky, that's just how it is. But we're going to get through this together. Grateful to be live. Thank you all. Thank you for all you share. That's very, very sweet. I'm really very happy actually that you all appreciate it because Bach Remedies is not really, no one is really checking online a lot, Bach Remedies on YouTube. Most people want entertainment, or they are checking how to become a YouTuber, or I don't know what. So I had no idea if I would even have an audience at all. Your name is Marianne. Yeah, that's nice to tell me that. Hello, welcome, Marianne. And I'm also very grateful that you're here. I had no idea if anyone would come, but I thought, let's just go. Let's just go anyway. So I was thinking of doing that a little bit more often, as it's just a really simple way to connect. And yes, Marianne. And I think it's a good way to connect and to ask questions. So if anybody has any questions, I'm looking at the chat right now, so we can discuss anything you'd like, really. What are the best bug flow remedies to take while traveling out of the country? That's already a really good question. So depending on what you're struggling with, let's say I would recommend Mimulus, because Mimulus is for all known fears. So even if you don't really know them yet for yourself, let's say that you're traveling and for some reason suddenly everything is too late and you don't know if you're going to make your connection or if you're going to understand the people, or if there's a certain stress that you didn't really count on, Mimulus will still be really helpful there. So Mimulus definitely is the first one I would recommend, because it's just so versatile. Anything that you could name is it just works on. And if you like, this sounds maybe really weird, but you could take Mimulus without being aware of any fear, and you could take it now, and in 3 months, something nasty would happen to you that you would normally react to. Mimulus would have already kind of buffered that fear. So it's actually a really good preventative, that's a word, yes, preventative remedy that I would take. Another good one for traveling is walnut, because if you're traveling, there's a lot of change in your environment, in the atmosphere and energy. And so anything that is change is very helpful, as well as walnut is really the remedy for protecting your own energy. So if you kind of feel that, at least when I'm in a store, I feel very porous. I feel a lot of impressions from other people. So if you're traveling, you're in busy places, you kind of want to avoid that. Walnut works like a charm. If people are interfering a little bit too much, in your business with their opinion or their energy, walnut. Walnut is a good one. So I don't know if there's anything particular that you wanted to, or what you're maybe struggling with when you're traveling, but these two are definitely also rescue, because something happens on your travels and there's an emergency type of situation. Rescue is just um hi, I want pink pink Cadillac. Ooh, pink Cadillac. I like it. Fancy. I want my son to take his driver's test. What should I recommend him? Um, well, it depends a little bit. Is he scared to take the driver's test? Then Mimulus again would be a really good one. Is he procrastinating? Like he kind of wants to do it, but he just doesn't get to it. Then Hornbeam would be a really, really good one as well. Um, let me think. Let me just go in my mind through all these remedies. What else could be there? If he lacks confidence, for instance, if he's scared to fail the test, large would be really, really, really good. Yeah, Mimulus, exactly. Mimulus is definitely, if there's fear for fear for the doing the test, failing the test, Mimulus is really, really good. Also, please, if for some reason I didn't answer your question fully, or you have extra questions, feel free to because I'm looking in the chat the whole time. Hello, Heidi. Nice to see you here. I've read your comments earlier today. I saw your video today with the 7 remedies for money blockages. Very interesting. Can I take all of them? Is it possible to also add one more, or is 8 too many? You can definitely take all of them. In general, the rule is 7, but Bach himself, he used up to sometimes 11 remedies. The more you focus on something, the more you work on that. But the power of Bach flower remedies is really in combining them. And 8 remedies isn't too much. What I would say is take them consistently and take them long enough. We always take 7 a bit as a limit, because where you have to draw a line somewhere. But somehow the difference between 8 and 6 is kind of insignificant. So you can definitely take 8. I would just say take them consistently. If you can, start in the morning when you wake, and then the rest throughout the day, and in the evening before you can go to sleep, because that somehow just works a little bit better. And consistency. Take them every day, and don't quit too early. If you feel like you want to finish your bottle, fine. If you want to be sure and you say, I could use a little bit extra help, just take another bottle for another month. And that's often what I do. If I say, okay, I see improvement, but I feel like I can take it a little bit further, taking another bottle with the same remedies is absolutely a really good idea. You don't have to make it, we often doubt ourselves, or we think, oh, should I change? If the remedies are relevant, you can also take a second or even a third bottle. So you can definitely take 8 remedies, no problem. Alex, absolute newbie here. Welcome. Oh, I'm always happy when someone is also completely new to the remedies, because That was really my wish, that also new people would enter here and learn about Bach remedy. So yay, awesome. Is taking the remedies separately more powerful than mixing all seven in a bottle? That's a really good question. Yes and no. Depends what you are taking. So let's assume that you just have fear of something specific and you will take Mimulus, then that would be the best thing that you could do. If you have fear and you are also lacking self confidence and you feel guilty, then it's better to mix them in. So I wouldn't say that it's more powerful to take one. It just depends. If you're taking remedies that are irrelevant, they won't do anything. And if you clearly focus on one thing, that can sometimes be helpful. But I would say don't add remedies just to add them. But they're not more if you have a whole bunch of problems woven together, then it's better to make a mix that actually addresses all the problems than just taking one aspect of what you are dealing with. But that would be a good starting point, even taking one single remedy. The only thing that I would say don't do that is simply mixing too many stuff. 8 remedies is really still fine, but let's assume that sometimes I get the question like, why don't we just take all 38 remedies? Like, just take them all 38. That would almost be like, let's take every single vitamin in the world, like every vitamin, every mineral, just to be sure. Your body wouldn't really understand what to do. And so, what we really basically want to avoid is that your body or your astral field or your subtle body gets confused. So imagine that you're painting and you're painting with blue and with yellow, and you want to make a mix. You want to make your colors a little bit more subtle. But if you keep on mixing colors in, at first you mix 2 colors and then you mix a third one, and then you start to notice at some point it becomes brown, and then you can do nothing with it anymore. It just stays brown, whatever you mix in. So that's the only thing that I would say. Pay attention to just too many remedies. If you that's a very good question. It's it's I wouldn't say it's more or less powerful. It's more like, is it relevant? Because if you take one remedy that you don't need, then it doesn't do anything. If you have a mix of 3 remedies, but putting 5 remedies in the mix would be better, then 5 is better than 4 or than 3. So it really depends on what you're working on. But it's a really, really good question, in fact. And please let me know if that answered your question as well. The unorthodox healer. Ooh, I like that. Let me tell you a little story about myself. I used to have a metal band. Yes, I was a metal singer, and that was always my band was called an unorthodox metal band because it was with clean singing and there was normally grunts and stuff. And it's so I always feel something. Um, I feel something for the word unorthodox. I like that. Unorthodox healer. Yes, that's yeah, I like that. Is there something to help when your nervous system is in constant fight or flight? Yeah, that's a very relevant one, and I think that's something that we can relate to. Sometimes when life gives you a lot of stuff to deal with, you start to become on edge all the time. And so, one really good remedy for that is white chestnut, because that's really the remedy that helps you stop putting stuff in your mind. If you're constantly overthinking, maybe anticipating, oh, this will maybe happen, or I should already prepare for that, the kind of solving problems in your mind, white chestnut is excellent for that. But also, and this is a remedy that is very often forgotten, the remedy aspen. Aspen is normally for vague fears, but it's also really a remedy for when you are scared and you don't know why. And that fits really good in the anticipation. You just always on, you're always expecting something gloomy to happen, even if there's no specific reason for that. So, aspen is definitely a really good remedy for that nervous system being on all the time. I would also maybe add a remedy like walnut, because if you are sensitive to energies, both aspen and walnut are really, really good to protect your energy. So let's say that you sense something, someone is in a bad mood or someone has a dispute over there and you're very sensitive. You might also be on because you're sensing a lot of things. And aspen and walnut are some kind of like a super cloak, kind of helping you to not be too much tickled by all that outer stuff, you know? Excuse me. Rosanna, thank you, Michelle. You are amazing. You are amazing too, Rosanna. I'm so happy that you're here. Awesome. Team Bach Flowers. Pink Cadillac. You are Mita. Hello, Mita. He is a bit apprehensive and procrastinating. Yeah, I would probably go for Mimulus in that case. With large for self-confidence. Procrastination is Hornbeam. And maybe you could also add in white chestnut if he's thinking a lot about it and what if I don't do it well, and that kind of building up tension. Then I think yeah, it would be also good to add in white chestnut just to calm the thoughts a little bit down and to just kind of you know do it when you need to do it and not think about it too much and not making it worse in our mind. By the way, my God, when I went to do my driver's license, I drove like a champ. I swear, I drove like a champ. But the lady didn't let me pass for some nonsense. I was so upset. And then the second time, I didn't pass because I did something that actually the driver school has taught me. And they say, no, this is not how you do it. Like it was some nonsense again. And I was like, really? And then I had to do it a third time. And then I said, I was so nervous. Gosh, I wish I would have taken Bach flowers. I was so nervous that I almost had to open my window to vomit while I was doing my driver's license. And I got my driver's license on the very last time of my how do you say that, a permit that isn't valuable forever, like a permit that is just for learning how to drive. So on the last day, I got my driver's license, and I was so nervous. I said, if I don't pass here, I will never do it again. I will drive for the bus. Oh my God, am I happy that I finished that I made it there. So, but yeah, if I would have known all this earlier, man, I would have been much more calm at my driver's exams. Definitely. Reiki with Satna. My husband wants us to move abroad. He has been looking for work and permanent stay abroad. He even had one opportunity but lost it due to visa issues. Oh yeah, I think I read your email about that. Tell me what remedies I should use. Um, well, the remedies work on emotions. So you're describing a situation. What are the emotions that you or your husband want help with, or what are the emotions that you think are causing things to not flow the way you want it to flow? That would help me more giving a good answer here, because I can't really give remedies that change outside stuff. I can't give a remedy that suddenly will help you. That the person will say, "Hey, I'm going to grant you the visa anyway." So if you could describe me the feelings that were involved, I can help a little bit better. Large and which other one you said, please spell. Thanks again for your guidance. So it was large, um, Mimulus. So that was for the driver's license, right? Yeah, Memulus for known fears, white chestnut for overthinking, large, you already mentioned it, and what did I say again? Hornbeam for procrastination. There you go. I'm a newbie too. Yay, newbies! I love it. Awesome. Let's spread the whole buck. I mean, imagine that this would be more known information. We would be all much more chill, and things would just ripple through all of our lives. Gosh. Another one new to the remedies, B. Griffiths, 1840. Hello, hello, welcome, welcome. I love it. Man, I'm gonna do more lives, I think. I had no idea that so many people would join. So happy to see that there's so much interest in the remedies. Hi, Tamil Vanon 7388. Heidi, white chestnut if he is worried for the son who wants to take the license. Yes, exactly. White chestnut. Because if you are, so white chestnut, I'm starting to mix everybody's white chestnut. And aspen is also really good when there is sort of an apprehension, when there's like feeling that things will go wrong, but you don't really know what. You just kind of feel that something might happen and you don't really know what. You're expecting something bad to happen. That takes that kind of vague fear a bit away. Yeah, I think combination of fear and worries too. Thank you. Yeah, that was nice of you, Heidi, indeed. What Bach flower? Yeah, because just reading some. Uh, what Bach flower remedies can be given to one who doesn't express his emotions, even if he needs to? First, that first part already, I can tell you straight off the batch that is agrimony. Agrimony is really the remedy for, um, first of all, repressing emotions for yourself. So when kind of have problems letting things surface. So you might be conscious of it, you might be unconscious of it. But also, if you don't express your emotions to the outer world. Let me give you an example. I used to be so much agrimony that if I would hurt myself, I would be at a place somewhere and I would hurt myself so much that I thought that I had to go to the hospital. I wouldn't say anything because I would be like, oh no, I don't want to bother anyone. Would break my arm, I wouldn't say anything. So when you are, for instance, also avoiding difficult conversations, maybe you don't want to be upset, or you don't want that someone is upset at you, you kind of want to keep the peace, this kind of stuff, or you want to just not talk about your worries, you don't want to bother people with it, or you think it wouldn't help anything. So agrimony would be really, really good. Physically tired is olive. Is physically, mentally, spiritually tired, but also physically tired. Overthinking is white chestnut. Procrastination is hornbeam. Not enough self care. The remedy for self care, I would say, is well, I would say Santori, because that is really the remedy when you don't really, when you put yourself last all the time. But it could also be something like rock water. That is the remedy for self denial. So when you just don't do anything unless it's perfect, or you continue unless it's perfect, and so you don't rest, you don't take a break, you don't do anything nice for yourself. The unorthodox healer. Michelle, thank you for the previous answer. I love the name of your band, by the way. You said about taking the bottle, but is there general rule for how long you should take a remedy till it helps? No, not really. I know some of my students, for instance, they take the remedies as they come up, like as the feelings come up. Let's say someone feels angry today, they would take holy until that day. And if it feels better tomorrow, they would stop. If they would feel anxiety, they would start taking another remedy. But what I would say is, if you're really working on things that are not just coming and going, like let's say I'm an anxious person, or I'm a person who puts myself last all the time, then I personally always recommend taking one stock bottle. So let's say you take it 4 times, 4 drops per day, then it would last about 3 weeks. So I would always take one stock bottle and then see how am I feeling. Is anything different? Do I need a little bit more time? That's perfectly normal. Some people think, oh, it doesn't work with me, but sometimes we need just a little bit more time, and it's often in hindsight that we see that things are working. So I would always minimum try one stock bottle of these like 30 milliliter bottles, and that is about three 3 to 4 weeks if you take 4 drops 4 times per day. When I have clients, for instance, I ask them to come back every 5 weeks because that gives them a little bit of time if they don't always take the drops consistently. And then they have a week to kind of revise, and then we have a chat about that and see what we can do next. So that is what I would recommend there. Thanks. Sorry, me again. No, we don't have to apologize. That is what this session is for. I'm so happy that there's questions. Otherwise, I would have to just talk to myself. No, I would talk to you, and I have always things to say about Bach flowers. But no, I'm very happy with the questions. So let them keep them coming. How would you use remedies on dogs, anxious ones in particular? How would you dose them? That's funny because I don't know. I don't know if you saw it or if it's a coincidence. I made a video about on animals, remedies, Bach remedies, and animals today. Um, Mimulus again for anxious dogs when you know what they are scared of. Let's say they are scared of loud noises or the visit to the vet, for instance. And if they are kind of more anxious by nature, so that would be Mimulus, sorry. And if they are more anxious by nature, let's say that they're just kind of, startled very fast, then I would take aspen and walnut. Mimulus. So Mimulus for known fears. Oh, can't type anymore. Mimulus. Aspen if they are a little bit fast startled, and walnut can help them also if they're kind of startled, and it protects their energy a little bit. And this is also for you, Alex. Alex, the aspen there, Mimulus, aspen, and walnut. So aspen is the correct writing, or how do you say that writing? Let me see where I was. So, how about the dosing? The easiest thing to do, I find, is just putting. You can put it straight from the stock bottle into the drinking fountain or the drinking bowl for them. If you want to be a little bit more economical and dilute still a little bit that alcohol. Now, if the drinking bowl is big enough, it's fine to take it from the stock bottle. But I always make myself a little 30 milliliter remedy bottle. You fill it with water, you put 2 drops of each remedy in it, and then I just, if it's if you freshen your little stock bottle often, you don't have to put in any extra alcohol. If you really want to keep it for longer, then it's good to add in a few drops of alcohol to preserve that it doesn't become contaminated with bacteria. And so from that treatment bottle or the remedy bottle, then I would just put in a few drops in the drinking bowl, depending on how big it is. Let's say that it's a liter, then 2 or 3 or 4 drops are enough. If it's more like a running fountain with a lot of water, then you could do 5 to 10 drops. And if some other animal would drink from it, that is totally not a problem, because either they don't need it and it won't do anything, or they also need it and it would benefit them as well. So it cannot hurt any other animals. And what you could also do is you could sprinkle that a little bit on the treats you give them or on their food. You could even put it on their paws, and then they often lick or just permeates through the skin of the animals. So there's really a lot of things that you could do. I find the drinking bowl and the treats/food the easiest, because then I know for sure that they really had it. And I kind of know how much they had and how long it would take to see a certain amount of change. Okay, I gave the spelling. You need agrimony, Rosanna. Yeah, agrimony is quite a powerful flower. I used to be quite agrimony when I was very young, but I didn't even know what Bach flower remedies were at that time. And oh boy, that is it's an amazing remedy, because it shows you things about yourself, things that you're not happy with, or things that you want to change, or things that you should change, or things that for instance, me, I had a really tough upbringing, but I would never speak about that at all. And I was like, I don't want to bother people with it. It doesn't matter. It won't change anything. Let's get on with business. It is what it is. And oh boy, if I would have known how bad that would have been for my emotional life and my future and everything I was doing, my choices, then I would have definitely taken a Grimony. But also, if you want to communicate things, if you want to be open about what you feel, if you want to be real, you're tired of being, I wouldn't say inauthentic, because you can be authentic but at the same time not want to bother people or not want to be honest about things that bother you, so that really helps you just to say it, say what you have to say. Now if you feel for some reason that you're going to explode, that you're like a ticking bomb going off, then I would pair it with the remedy cherry plum. Because cherry plum is a remedy, is the remedy actually for fear of losing control, but it kind of helps you to get over that fear. So it kind of helps you expressing yourself, while at the same time it helps you stay calm. So that fear of exploding will evaporate a little bit more, but it will also kind of channel your energy a little bit better. If you feel like a ticking time bomb, it will kind of release that a little bit before you can really, have that kind of comfort of speaking openly. I am very happy that you appreciate the help. Super great. Could it be crab apple for not self care? Crab apple is more the remedy for shame, or for when you are, like, oh look, I have, I'm getting old. I have some, you're very focused on small details. It is true that it's a remedy also really for self love. It's when you start to notice things about yourself in your appearance or in your behavior or in your personality, and you're so picky about that, you're just so focused on it, that you kind of get a disgust from yourself, or you start to hate yourself. And sometimes that results in things like OCD kind of behavior, trying to control everything around you, because you can't control certain aspects of yourself. You start to control, is this clean enough? Did I close the door? This kind of stuff. So I wouldn't really say that it's a remedy for self care in that sense. It's more a remedy for when you when you hate yourself in that way of, I'm disgusting, or I'm ashamed about something. So if there is a case of that, then you could definitely add crab apple. It's my pleasure. Tamil Vanan 7388. Mandy JX8WY. Feeling too much, like constantly too much emotions. Oh yeah, that's a really good one, especially for nowadays. The times are really quite turbulent, and I want to tell you guys, this month is going to be a time with a lot of emotions. And I would recommend you to not watch the news too much, because you cannot influence what is going on there and there and there. And things are also on the news to make you, you don't make good decisions when you're so. You guys are here, you have a responsibility to keep calm and to help other people who can't stay calm, stay grounded, stay focused. The way out is the way in. So if you feel too much, if you constantly feel too many emotions, I would recommend Aspen as well, because this is the remedy when you pick up on things outside of you, or you are just more permeable than some other people. You notice much more than others. You pick up on things much more than others. And so that makes you, you're on all the time. And that Aspen helps you kind of, cloak yourself a little bit. Together with walnut, because walnut too is really the remedy that protects your energy against all of the outside stuff. And I would definitely add to that Santori, because Santori is really considered the remedy for very gentle people, people who have a lot of empathy, people who care a lot about other people. So if you feel a lot, then that is a good one. If it's about worrying for other people, so if you worry a lot about others, then I would also add red chestnuts. It's really explicitly for fear for the well-being of others. And a remedy like pine. If you feel responsible for everything, responsible for everyone, you can also add pine to that. So I hope that that answers your question. If not, let me know. He feels excitement. I, on the other hand, am always anxious if things go another way. My husband gets work opportunities, but obstacles come in between and stop the work from coming. Yeah, if you feel anxious if things go the other way, I would add, if you don't know exactly what, but more like an anticipation of something going wrong, then I would take aspen. Jesus, aspen is really the remedy of the day. Maybe we all collectively need aspen. And if your husband get works opportunities, obstacles come in between and stop the work from coming, it means that there is something either karmic or something in the decisions or in the energy that you have that doesn't really flow the way you want. How could we It's difficult with not that much context, but what I would say for a remedy like that is I would go here for rock water for both of you because you have sort of expectation and you want that things go in a certain way, but he also has an expectation and he does things in a certain way, and rock water gives a little bit a pathway for change. And I would add to that chestnut butt, because chestnut butt helps if there is recurring patterns. Sometimes it helps when there's recurring mistakes, but it also helps when there's just patterns that repeat and you kind of want to break these patterns. So then I would definitely also add red chestnut butt. Um, Hello, Laura. I have much fears since I had a mushroom trip. Took Mimulus for 2 months but don't feel better yet. What can I do? Is it normal that it takes so long? If you've taken Mimulus for 2 months and you don't really feel better, then I don't think it is the corresponding remedy. After 2 months, you should feel. Sorry, my cat comes here with a toy. Yeah, let's play. You should feel something after 2 months. Um, so what I would probably try to figure out is either you could also take aspen for the unknown fear, so a vague fear, but it's also really for fear of the unknown. So it depends a little bit on what are you scared of. Is there a specific thing? Maybe it should help, but it doesn't. So, or it doesn't really the way that it should. So I think it should either be paired with something or it's not the right remedy. It could also be, let me just have a look at it again. Fear since then, is it more of a like a kind of a panic attack, something that's suddenly just really quite hefty? Then I would try rock, so that's really more for sort of a panic attack kind of feeling. So it's much more heavy than Mimulus. Do you know, for instance, what exactly you are scared of? Because if the answer is no, then Mimulus is definitely not the remedy you need here. So I think aspen, to me, feels also a little better if I think that the question comes from a mushroom trip, which is already the unknown. It's kind of vague. It's already fully in the astral field there. So I think aspen would be more interesting for you to try there. And I also hope that you will get over that. I really also, I take Amanita microdoses, and I really want to up my dose a little bit, but I'm naturally a very cautious person and I have a bit of a dark mind. So I'm also thinking, I just don't dare because I'm worried that I kind of get stuck somewhere. Rescue, Linda. I want to help a person who is on her way to burnout. I feel she is very vervain, Centauri, Oak, and Elm. Good idea to give her all of them. I wonder if I mix up Oak and vervain. If someone is burning out, definitely alum. If it's especially if it's temporary, if the person just takes on too much work, alum will help just with the fatigue, but it will also help to see that you have limits and you should respect these limits, and it helps delegating and discerning what is important and what can be forgotten or done later. Oak is when you can't stop, you can't rest, you keep fighting. Rockwater, for instance, if she is perfectionist, if she doesn't deny herself, or if she denies herself rest, or he. Centauri is very often also very relevant here because it's for people who do things for others all the time, forget themselves, put themselves last, always busy fixing other people's problems. And vervain is actually also can be a really good one also because a vervain person has trouble calming down. They're enthusiastic. They want to fix things, solve things, take on the whole world, all the troubles of the world. So that sounds like a really good mix, and there's no problem mixing oak and vervain here. I see where why you think maybe is it a good idea to put them together, but that is absolutely no problem. Sometimes the remedies can, I wouldn't say that they can look contradictory, but there is aspects of both remedies that are really strongly in overwhelm and burnout. So yeah, that sounds really like a good mix. Is it right that vervain is more for enthusiastic people and oak more for driven by duty? Exactly. Vervain people, they also have they have a strong sense of what is right and what is wrong. These are the protesters, the people that write letters to the mayor, this kind of, this is wrong, let me change it. And so they are very convinced of their ideals, and they also want to convince you to join them. And so they are very enthusiastic, exactly. And oak, indeed, they are not per se enthusiastic, but they have that sense of duty. So it's not even about right and wrong, it's just like I have to do this. And they really identify with their tasks and with their duty, and they just can't rest. One can't rest because, you know, the fire, and the other can't rest because of duty. So you've got that perfectly right. Alex, love, love, love this. Thank you so much for this session. It's my pleasure. It's my pleasure. I didn't put it in my last video, I think, but if anybody wants to join our school community where I give updates, because we will be doing some extra live sessions. If you go in any of my older videos, let's say the one, not this one, but the one before, for instance, there's a link to my school community, or I will add the link later to this video, the last video. And you can come for free. You can join for free. Come and join. And if you join now, you will have lifelong access for free. And because we have to get this party started here, like we want to do good for the world by doing good for ourselves. So thank you so much for being here, Alex. I'm very happy that you joined. That is my own comment. Thank you so much for speaking about agrimony and cherry plum. You're welcome, Rosanna. Thank you so much. Can you have Bach flower remedies and hot drinks, perhaps to give someone remedies without their knowledge if they don't believe it will help them? It's not a problem to give it in hot drinks. I wouldn't do it in super warm drinks. Like when you, let's say that you make a tea, which is that, if you want to have a tea that is actually good for your health, you wouldn't boil it. You would put it at 70 degrees. If something is around 50 to 70 degrees, that could still work. I mean, it doesn't hurt to try in any case. Yeah, without their knowledge, this is sometimes a difficult one. People often ask me that, so shall I give it anyway? It's not like you're, like, as a practitioner, I should say, no, you can't do that. But as a human being, I would be like, if you give someone a Coke, it's full of crap, you wouldn't ask them for permission. Like, can I give you something full of sugar? So you're not even giving something physical here. You're giving something, that has no physical components here. So this is, I keep myself out of that discussion. This is totally up to you what you do with it. It's sometimes think if you know that you can help someone or it doesn't do anything or make them feel better, they still have the choice. Remedies will never make you do something you don't want to do, or will never make you say something you don't want to say. So yeah, I think if the drinks are not too boiling hot, it should still have an effect. It just, like I say, the consistency. 4 drops 4 times per day is quite a good consistency. Hello, Venika Sukiya. I hope I didn't say that completely messed up. Any specific remedy for psoriasis? Well, remedies don't work directly, at least physically. They work on the emotions. So we would have to figure out what are the underlying emotions for that. In general, psoriasis is very stress related. So in that case, remedies like mimulus for anxiety, for known anxiety, aspen for vague anxiety when we don't know what we're scared of, or white chestnut for overthinking would be good, or a remedy like I just had it in my mind and now I forgot it. Let me go back. So yeah, the stress. So mimulus, aspen, white chestnut, something like if there's like a pressure around work, responsibilities, things like elm could also help. But I'm really like, this is a bit too vague to give really good remedies here. But we have to kind of, this is the best that I can do with this amount of information, let's say. Thank you so much, Heidi. Your answers were spot on, really. You understand the remedies quite well, I see. Aspen for permeable. That is so interesting. Yes, protect against strengthen the aura. Exactly that. Yes, Aspen people. In my experience or in my opinion, there's few things going on with Aspen, or there's simply a vague fear. You have like a sense of foreboding, and you take Aspen. But very often, Aspen people are extremely sensitive. They just pick up on things, and that's why they feel fear. They don't know why, it makes no sense, but they just feel things. They feel people's energies, they feel things before they happen. And they are often, yeah, permeable. They just pick up on things. It's like their sensors are just, much working much better. So that is, yeah, aspen is really really good for there, especially pairing that with walnut. Another aspect of aspen is also that if you, for instance, had a lot of troubles and things going wrong in your life, and you anticipate things without a reason, you're just waiting for the next bad thing to happen. That is also something where aspen can be very helpful. Thank you so much. Thank you too, Mandy. Fear that nags despite mentally knowing things are okay, but specifically health fears. Been using Serrata walnuts, Star of Bethlehem, and aspen. Yes, aspen is not a bad thing. I think I would probably also look at mimulus, because if you know what you're scared of, there's health related fears. Mimulus would be helpful there. And if you fear that next despite mentally being, yeah, I sometimes reread because the words that we use are really, for me, I always pay attention to the words that people use. Despite mentally knowing things are okay, specifically health fears. Yeah, I would definitely have a look at mimulus, because the fears are clear and aspen are working more on vague fears. It's true that fear that nags despite mentally knowing things are okay is also very aspen, because it's almost like there's a fear of the unknown or what could happen. If you are someone who also worries a lot, I would definitely also add white chestnut. So if you were thinking, oh, this can happen, and almost making a story in your head, I hope this doesn't happen, white chestnut is also really, really good here. I hope that helps you, Jesse. You're welcome, Reiki. The school community is amazing. Yes, Rosanna. Woo! I love that you're cheering for the school community. And I have been, because I'm redoing, reorganizing, re recording my course. I haven't spent as much time in the school community as I wanted to, but I am going to be more, try to make more out of that too. So stay with me. And also, well, we just started that school community. We have just passed the first 100 people joining us. And, the Bach Remedies is a really niche kind of world. So it's amazing to build this together. It's not my community; it's really our community. You guys are the foundation. You are the first ones who joined me there, and so grateful for that. So if you feel like it, you're more than welcome. Which flowers we can use for getting the desired job? Well, there's not really a flower that can help us getting the desired job. That would be awesome. Um, Flowers are really about feelings and about behavior. So I would look at what are the feelings or the belief systems or maybe the patterns that you have which avoid you getting the job you want. For instance, let me give you an example. I come from a really, really poor background, never had anything. I was, completely my idea of having something compared to a normal person was so far off. What I found normal was being super poor for other people. And for a long time that state of being has kind of followed my work and everything. And if I look back now, I was like, I always found myself in stupid situations or things that I didn't like, or, I was underpaid or took stupid jobs despite having studied for 15 years. Because how I stood in life, I didn't really have confidence. Even if I was reading the stupidest job description, I was like, oh, I can't do this. And so all the decisions I made were really not aligned with what I could be, but with who I think I was. And sometimes a tiny little shift in your mindset, it just ripples through everything you do. It's not like, let's assume that you are a person that is very Santori and you always put yourself last. You will let other people take your space in life. You won't ask for a lot of money for what you do because you feel like you're not worth it. You feel like someone else can do it better. So even if you know it, it's a belief system that just really, and more than I can express here, that really shapes our life insanely. And oh boy, if I would have known that and really know it with everything you are, because you can know that rationally, but doesn't mean that you know something that you can act on that. If I would have known that when I was in my 20s, oh my God, I would have been so different in my life. But hey, I'm 41 now and I still have years to come. So I'm gonna be fine. I'm fine actually. Um my daughter is 22 years old, currently working. She's looking for better high growth job opportunities. She has also applied for a very selective international study and work program. Yeah, the remedies that I would think of here is things like large for self confidence, Santori if she needs to make propositions or deals, not always taking the worst and the first deals. Agrimony to speak what you want and to go for that. Um, so, large self-confidence and tori to not put yourself last, agrimony to say what you want. um, that would be probably in terms of belief system the best ones. If she doesn't feel worthy or some problems with responsibility or some kind of I don't deserve that kind of stuff, then pine would also be a good one to add. But you should, in order for me to help you better, it's always good to tell me what the belief systems are, what the thoughts are, the feelings. And sorry, I just got a strange message that happens. Um, I've applied to join your circle. Great, unorthodox healer. Man, you have such a cool name. You must join this awesome group. I will absolutely, let me just go straight away to the Remedy Circle and one membership pending, Jen, approve, and bam, you are in. Awesome. There you are. You're in normally. So, man, that was insane how fast that hour flew. I well, we still have, I'm not on a time schedule. I just don't want to drag it and drag it and drag it because we all have a life. But so let's close it around in 5 minutes. If anyone has still a question or anything you want to say, I'm going to do another live session next week, maybe around the same time. I'm not fully sure what that is. I do have a link for the community. Let me share it with you. If anybody wants to share it, by the way, um, there it is. Copy. If anybody wants to share it, feel free to do that. Here it is. And if for some reason you need it afterwards, just let me know, and I can always share it in the group. I just really, really wanted to tell you from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much. I've never done a live on YouTube. I had no idea how this would work. And I'm so grateful that I wasn't here on my own yelling into the universe. So thank you so, so much for being here. And yeah, if you want to join next week I will do a little lesson. I will have a team, but of course you can also ask questions. Um, and I just wanted to tell you thank you so much. I'm very, very grateful to for what I can do here with my job. I mean, it's my work, but I also just, I'm doing this now in my free time because I just love doing this. So I'm extremely grateful that I was here with you today. So thank you so, so, so much. And yeah, for those who want, join the Remedy circle on the school group. If you join now, you are there forever if you'd like to. We also do live sessions there. We have a coffee hour this month, so we just kind of chat with each other, get to know each other. And then next month we will do a lesson, and then the next month we will do a coffee hour, and then we will do a lesson. And if there's anything new, you will be updated. Sometimes I give little freebies, little guides. There's also little lessons there for free. And so, yeah, you can join if you want to. So I need to make a user on school group. Yes, I do think you need to make a little profile, but you don't have to. I don't even think you have to fill in anything. Just so that there's like a person joining the group, an entity, let's say. And yeah, you can do what you want there. If you want to just be very quiet and just read on your own, you're welcome. If you prefer to be very active and ask questions, you're also very welcome. And yeah, I would say see you soon. And thank you so, so much for being here. Have a nice evening. And for those who are not on the evening, have a nice day. And I hope you will join me again next week. Just keep an eye on the group or on my profile here. I will always let you know in advance when the next live session is. And I would love to have you there again. Thank you so much, Rosanna. Thank you. Bye bye, everybody. Bye bye.